Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matty Collins back with another video here, and in today's edition of Frequently Asked Friday, we're going to be discussing what every beginner photographer needs to purchase right away, right out of the gate. So without further ado, roll that intro. If it's your first time here at the channel, we talk about everything photography, filmmaking, with an emphasis on education and gear. As mentioned, the focus of today's video is going to be talking about beginners and they don't even own a camera yet, what you need to pick up and purchase to start shooting and start learning. Obviously, first thing you're going to need is a camera body, so don't worry about lenses quite yet. I recommend spending on your first camera around $500. There are amazing ones on the used market that you could pick up around this price range. If you want new, you could spend a little bit more money, but there are so many nice cameras with like 20 megapixel sensors, full frame cameras like the Canon 5D that you could pick up on the used market, and this would come highly recommended. Number two, let's talk lenses. So a lot of cameras come with kit lenses that don't really shoot at a low aperture. So forget the kit lens. I think it's amazing to start with maybe a 35mm or 50mm prime. This means that the lens can't actually zoom optically, so you're a little bit limited in that capacity, but it will have a lower aperture like 1.8. You can get lenses for around like $100 or $200, prime, nice, fast lenses. And I recommend doing this because if you know what bokeh is or depth of field, it's when the background of the subject is all blurred out and then your subject is in focus. And you can't really do this effectively with kit lenses. This is why I recommend picking up a cheap, fast prime lens. The next thing I really think you should pick up, and a lot of people might not recommend this, but it is a camera flash. And you can experiment so much with the camera flash because what it does is it can freeze your subject and then you can light paint with it and have streaks of light across your image while your subject is in focus. Camera flashes are just so much fun to use, and it took me too many years before I actually picked up my first one, and ever since having a decent speed light, it's kind of changed the game for me and changed what I'm able to shoot. That kind of does it for all the fun ones, but the last three, I highly recommend getting a 64GB or higher SD card. If you shoot video, you got to be careful with like what kind of video card it is, because if you want to shoot 4K, you're going to need like a V30. But if you don't want to shoot any video and you don't care about 4K, don't really worry so much about it. Just go with a trusted brand, and 64GB is a good starting point. Next thing I think you guys should pick up is a camera strap, and a lot of these look cool, so style points for that, but they also serve a purpose in stabilization. If you have it around your neck and you want to stabilize your image, this is amazing for doing that. You just kind of hold it tight and lock your elbows. A lot of lenses aren't stabilized and a lot of camera bodies aren't stabilized, so this can be a good tool for that. Lastly, camera stabilizers are really cool as a safety net as well, because if you ever drop your camera, you got this around your neck and it's going to be safe. Next thing you're going to want to pick up, you have all this new photo gear, you need a place to store it, so pick yourself up a nice light compact bag that you can take hiking or just out on a day shoot or something like this. There are plenty, actually like too many to list. But if you guys actually want like any recommendations, specific recommendations for brands or models or anything like this of all the equipment we just talked about, I can certainly put a list of lenses and camera bodies and things like this, speed lights, in the comment section below, and we can just use it as a form. Last one, this is just impromptu. I didn't actually write this one down, but batteries are so important. You're gonna need juice throughout the day, and if one camera battery dies, you're done for the day. So I highly recommend picking up 2 extra charged batteries and always keeping them in your camera bag. So that wraps up this week's version of Frequently Asked Friday. I hope it was educational. I hope you consider picking up this passion. Everything we kind of talked about is around $800. And if you find that you're like, oh, I thought I would be so into photography, but I actually hate it and I never use my camera and it collects dust, you can just sell it to me. Just kidding. But you can put it on Craigslist or Kijiji. Any of those sites are going to help you get a good portion of your money back. So it's not a big upfront commitment financially, and I highly recommend at least giving it a try. So that about wraps up the video for today. I'll see you in next week's version of Frequently Asked Friday. Matty out. Peace.